In this WrestleTalk news, Kenny Omega open to WWE move. FTR unhappy, but also happy, but also maybe unhappy. WrestleMania main roster call-up news and more.
Support WrestleTalk!
February 2022 saw the unthinkable happen. Shane McMahon was absorbed by his own arsehole and booked himself to go toe-to-toe with Randy Orton in the Royal Rumble. It also saw Vince McMahon fire his own son, Stone Cold Steve Austin announce his return to the ring for WrestleMania 38, and Cesaro leaving WWE. But somehow, there was a bigger story that month. Cody Rhodes left AEW to return to WWE. And in an even more shocking development, it worked out pretty well for him. That Cody was pushed to the top of the company was vital for WWE in their war against AEW. Before then, there was a decades-long narrative of WWE signing wrestlers they don't actually like and then burying them in mid-card gimmicks for the best years of their career. But Purple Nurple injury aside, Cody has been strongly booked, winning the Men's Royal Rumble and set to main event, WrestleMania 39. It changes the perception of what being an indie or AEW guy signing with WWE means. And according to Wade Keller, it's made Cody's former colleague at the top of All Elite Wrestling more carefully weigh up his options. During his PW Torch audio show, Keller revealed Omega is open-minded about coming to WWE, presumably in the same way that Megan was open-minded about trying an open relationship. And contrary to a few years ago when AEW was still a little baby starting out, Kenny's attitude is not, I love AEW, I'm gonna stay here forever. But is there interest on the other side? Yes, of course there is. It's Kenny frickin' Omega. Keller adds Omega is valued within WWE by people whose opinions count, but he is not seen at this stage as a wrestler who is so good in the ring that they are just going to do anything to get him. This might be because they believe his character work in 3+ years of Dynamite has not been particularly compelling, but Keller does note WWE would be excited to creatively explore the weekly TV series character version of Omega, which AEW arguably hasn't fully developed because of their more sports presentation approach. Apparently, WWE is also concerned about Kenny's age and the wear and tear on his body. Omega turns 40 in October and had to take almost a year off in 2021 to 2022 because of various injuries. Surely those concerns are somewhat mitigated, though, by the rest of WWE's top stars being a similar age or older. Cody is 38 in June, and Kenny wrestling what some are calling one of the best matches of all time against Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom 17 in January. Keller continues, saying that WWE is very happy with their roster right now and that they have a lot of great wrestlers who are at Kenny's level, which, no offense Madcap Moss and Dexter Lumis, is almost objectively incorrect when you assess talent by athleticism and match structure, but perhaps there is an argument there for Kenny lacking compelling character work for the more sports entertainment-orientated WWE.
What's wrong, Ollie?
Loads of wrestling companies have 3-letter acronyms.
Okay.
So I want one.
Why?
I was thinking like Wrestling Channel. Wow!
That's taken. WCW.
Or maybe news, facts, tirades.
That's NFTs.
Broadcasting Babbling Chatter.
BBC.
Hungry Boy Ollie.
HBO.
No, wait. I've got it. Very powerful news.
You mean VPN?
Surfshark VPN is an online tool that keeps you safe wherever you browse by masking your important information, which means you can check sensitive stuff like your bank account even on public Wi-Fi. Surfshark keeps your location and download history private and encrypted, meaning you can send or receive files securely too, like my ongoing spreadsheet of 3-letter acronyms for the company. But on top of that, Surfshark also allows you access to any of 3,200 servers in over 100 countries, allowing you to fool your phone, laptop, or tablet into thinking you're in a different country, meaning you Americans can still get the old WWE network. I love you, superior search function! If you click the link in the description down below or visit surfshark.deals/WrestleTalk, you can get 83% off plus 3 months for free when you use the code WrestleTalk on checkout. That's surfshark.deals/WrestleTalk and use the promo code WrestleTalk for 83% off and 3 months for free.
What about Wrestling World? Entertained?
News of Kenny being open to a move comes just days after Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that WWE is set to go hard for AEW's top talent. Because of the standard contract length for AEW appearing to be a 3-year deal with a 2-year extension, many of which began in AEW's first year back in 2019, numerous high-profile deals are set to expire by the end of 2023. MJF's has even become a storyline, although it's heavily speculated that's a work and he has committed long-term behind the scenes. The same can't be said for Omega and the Young Bucks, though. The Bucks' contracts reportedly expire at the end of the year, while Kenny's actually expired back in January. It appears to have been extended because of the 9 months he missed due to injury, although it's unclear how much by. If Triple H can sign all 3 men to complete the original AEW Founder set over in WWE with Cody, that would be a huge blow to the heart of the Tony Khan promotion. But like most things in my life, it might all come back to CM Punk. Compulsory CM Punk story. CM Punk, the CM stands for didn't do anything wrong, has continued to post wrestling references, specifically to reports about his reputation backstage on social media. Following Danhausen tweeting a terrifying old image of Punk wearing a Danhausen-like mask and asking for $740,000 for impersonation and thievery of likeness, Punkhausen took the banter hot tag from his apparently real-life friend and posted on his Instagram stories. Danhausen is cancerous to America and really didn't pay for lemonade. He is blackballed, attributing the mock quote to WON, or Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is presumably a reference to Fightful's report in October that Chris Jericho called Punk a cancer to the locker room to his face after Brawl Out, and Seth Rollins calling him a cancer just in a random interview this month. Well, that seems pretty wrapped up there that CM Punk is a cancer. But, you know, just one more thing. Obviously, not everyone agrees. Danhausen, a beloved cult figure in AEW, literally just had some friendly social media banter with Punk. Dax Harwood told stories on a podcast almost seemed designed to rebuild Punk's image about him buying the women's division coffee gift cards and taking the likes of MJF and Powerhouse Hobbs out to dinner. With Punk nearly recovered from the injury he suffered in the all-out brawl, we will soon know if Tony Khan will actually bring him back into AEW. A gargantuan news story in and of itself. But the ripple effects might be even more pronounced. Because while some, like Danhausen and FTR, would presumably be very happy for Punk's return, it could prompt wrestlers on the other side of the axis, that's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, to sign those contracts with WWE. What do you think is going to happen with the Elite and CM Punk in AEW? Can they coexist? Or like any title match build worth its salt, will one of them refuse to tag in the other, leading to a brawl between teammates? Let me know in the comments down below, where I'll be letting you know the CM actually stands for a nice guy. Make sure to subscribe to WrestleTalk and enable notifications to always on, or we'll keep you up to date with daily wrestling news videos. Now, from the compulsory CM Punk story to compulsory FTR leaving AEW story. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards have crowned Jon Moxley as Wrestler of the Year, MJF as Best Interview of the Year, and FTR as the winners of both Best Tag Team and Best Feud of the Year with the Briscoes. And still, Dax Harwood has found something to be unhappy about, tweeting, "Tell me April's around the corner without telling me April's around the corner," reposting AEW's tweets congratulating Bryan Danielson, MJF, Moxley, and AEW itself for their wins, but not publicly mentioning FTR's 2 awards. Dax's reference to April could be to his and Cash's AEW contracts also due to expire. But in the future, don't call Dax unhappy. It makes him unhappy when you call him unhappy, as he shortly after posted this tweet. "Guys, real quick, I'm the happiest I've ever been. The he's unhappy narrative that's been painted of me because I stand up for myself has always made me laugh, but today even more. I'm very appreciative of what all of you have given me and my family. Stress is down, life is good." With a picture of him and his family enjoying a oh God, what is that? What's that in his cup? Thankfully, Dax has cleared this up, replying, "It's oat milk. Oat milk is in my coffee." Yeah, okay, I see that now. You're gonna want some better oat milk in your coffee there, Dax. That son of a bitch has gone and split. If I was to choose one oat milk in the market, I would go for Minor Figures oat milk. It's a great oat milk, but wait! Maybe he's trying to send us a message. Because it's like, between the split oat gunk, there's some letters there. There's a C up the top, and then an M. Oh my God. Is that a P? It is! And if you put it all together, CM CM Punk did nothing wrong. The oat milkers foretold the coming of Punk. Of course, take this all with a pinch of stevia, because there's a Casino Tag Team Battle Royal match on the next episode of Dynamite where FTR could be in the surprise Joker final slot. If they do return, a lot of this is a work to throw you off their return scent. But if they don't, it could be indicative of actual unhappiness, no matter how many happy family selfies Dax posts. Triple H reportedly singled out the main roster's depth issue as the first problem he needed to fix when he took charge of creative in July 2022. He's already brought back a number of his favorite released WWE and NXT stars, and the next 2 months could see the main roster bolstered even more. At a live event on the 25th of February, NXT Zoe Stark wrestled for Charlotte Flair's SmackDown Women's Championship in a fatal four-way along with Sonya Deville and Liv Morgan. This follows her entering the Women's Rumble match in January at number 13, where she lasted almost half an hour. Additionally, Cameron Grimes wrestled a dark match ahead of the 24th of February episode of SmackDown, where he beat Hit Row's Ashanti Adonis. This is his first match since losing to Joe Gacy in NXT back in November. These are signs that WWE is testing both Stark and Grimes on the main roster before fully debuting them on TV, the most likely date being the week after WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania, watch Adam Blompier's 11 Fantasy Booking Mania 39 plans now.
Whoa, whoa, WrestleMania! Pump it up, pump it up. There's nothing that stands between us and WrestleMania 39 except time, hype, and increasingly weird Paul Heyman promos. What, Paul? But speaking of hype, we've all got dream scenarios in mind for the show of shows, and I'm sure you're all keen to know mine. And even if you aren't, well, I don't mind. I'm Adam from WrestleTalk, and here are my 11 pitches for WrestleMania 39.